Welcome to Keep What You Earn, your judgment and jargon-free zone for entrepreneurs of all levels. Get ready to learn how to scale your business, save money in taxes, and create a business that grows your wealth. If it feels like the financial side of business is like eating your vegetables, well then think of this podcast as the ranch dressing to make the process a little more enjoyable. My name is Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CPA and business owner on a mission to simplify money and empower others through knowledge. I hope this episode inspires you to take action, but remember that the information we share is for educational purposes only and is not individual tax advice. Now that we got that out of the way, let's start the show. One of the topics that I find a lot of people resist or are challenged by is sales. And sales is tricky because a lot of times sales is really something that brings out a lot of our insecurities. You could possibly hate the feeling of rejection and then resist doing more sales work because you feel like that's a constant cycle of rejection. Also, you could probably be, not used to doing sales because maybe you've been a quote unquote order taker in your business or in a past life. And by that, I mean, there are certain businesses where you barely have to sell anything. I'm going to use my own profession as an example because for a lot of accountants, a lot of tax preparers, they really don't have to sell because everybody needs their taxes done. Similarly to like doctors, insurance companies, like you really don't have to sell that hard because people are coming to you with a need. Like they're coming to the window and saying, I need to order something from you. Like I came because I'm ready to buy from you. So you're just standing at the window waiting for people to call you or waiting for people to show up. And you haven't really had to do a lot of hard work to sell. So if you find yourself in the position where now you have to sell in order to generate new business, it can be really challenging. And that doesn't go unnoticed. So there are a lot of folks that dislike selling, that just flat out dislike it for whatever reason. And that's not a bad thing. It's not really a bad thing. You just want to make sure that your business model aligns with your preferences on having to sell. So if you truly don't find it to be a strength to sell, A, you need to hire somebody who can, if you have a business model that requires it, or B, you have to adapt your business model so you don't have to sell as much. And that's also a possibility. I think not enough people talk about that. Like, could you offer something that reduced the number of times you had to sell? So I'm going to talk in this episode about how you can possibly increase your revenue if you hate selling and how you can leverage non-new customer sales to drive your revenue. So I want you to think about this, that when you have a revenue issue, when you need to be bringing in more revenue, typically what ends up happening is we drive right to, okay, we need to generate new sales. We need to plug into marketing. We need to pour more money into the ad spend. We got to pour gasoline on that fire. We got to go, and sell. Not always the case. I'm going to give you some ideas of what you can do instead before you create new customer sales. And by the way, even if you like selling, these are also viable strategies to do before you go out in the market and sell more. It's my not only personal belief, but I think it's been proven that your existing customers are worth more than a new customer, and that it's cheaper to keep an existing customer than to acquire a new one. So here are some of the lessons I've learned when it comes to generating new revenue. And this is something we always talk about in our power sessions with clients. And this is something that we actually unpacked with a client recently to talk about how to drive revenue, even though this person hated selling. Number one, do you have existing clients that could use a follow-up, a reboot, or an upsell based on where they're at? So let's say you have a client and you've sold them a service. That service generated some type of result. Are you truly done with them? Or can something else happen after that? You have served them their appetizer or their entree. Can you sell them dessert? They're already here. Why not try to sell them dessert? Why not try to upsell them or put them into the next phase? So let's say you offer some type of service that includes some type of transformation from A to B, right? Like if it's coaching, consulting, whatever it is. If you are promising some type of outcome and they've achieved that. So let's say you're in the business coaching program, let's say. You're selling business coaching and this person goes through your program over 12 weeks. They launch a service and they have made, they're now on track to make $100,000 or something like that per year. Like they wanted to hit a 6-figure business and they've done it. Cool. Well, a 6-figure business owner has new problems. Now you may need to help them keep that money. You may now have to help them elevate their strategies. Maybe they need to elevate their offer, their pricing, and their marketing to match the level that they want to hit next. So there's always new metrics to hit. There's always a new performance. Like using another analogy, right? If you go from couch to 5K and you're training somebody, you can bring them from couch to 5K. They're not done. They're not done. You can train them next for a Spartan race or an obstacle race. You could train them for something else, right? So there's a next phase of everything. There's an evolution. What is your client's actual evolution? And when they cross over from the result of your initial offer, what else can you do for them to help them hit that next level? And here's another thing. If you don't offer that next level, or you don't desire to offer that next level, let's use my fitness analogy. You like taking people from couch to 5K. And you're like, Shan, I really don't want to train them for like a Spartan beast or something, right? Or sprint. I really don't want to train them for that. I don't really have an interest in doing that. I know that's what most of my clients will want to do when they're done with me, but I don't want to do that. I just want to take them from couch to 5K. Cool. So here's my next point. Partner with someone who does the next thing or the thing before you if you're not starting from zero. So find in the chapter of the book of your client's journey, find the author of the next chapter and the chapter before yours. Find that person. So let's use my fitness analogy one more time. I want to take them from couch to 5K. I don't really want to work with them after that. I feel like that's the transformation I want to have and I'm done. Fine. But now you have an opportunity to find a trainer that you align with in terms of values, style, whatever it is, right? That methodology, modalities. You can then go find that person and say, hey, I have a program where I'm churning out people who are doing their first 5K. And a lot of them really want to do a Spartan sprint or whatever it is next. They want to do an obstacle race. I know you train that. Could we partner? I will give you my leads. I will give you my people, and we can offer some type of discount code if they continue with you, right? But then I get an affiliate commission for referring people to you. That would be super cool, right? Because then they enroll with that new person, and then you can actually make money and increase revenue by simply making the process easier for your client to evolve and to go on to the next thing. And the more that this is actually creating synergy, the more that this is creating an ease and a flow, it actually is great for the customer and it increases your value for both of you as professionals, because now that person also could say, hey, I'm actually getting a lot of people who are coming to me for obstacle race training who haven't even run their first 5K and aren't really trained in running. Could you train them? Could I send them to you so to get them ready for my offer? So you always want to be looking for who is a complementary professional, who is a complementary service to what it is you do. Is there someone that they can work with that will make them a better customer coming into your program? And is there someone they can work with on the way out of your program that will help them evolve and that they will always be grateful for that journey that you create for them? So in the fitness example, that's super clear. In business coaching, for example, maybe it's a marketing coach, a sales coach, someone who can enhance the skills that a lot of people are craving when they leave your program, or vice versa. Let's say they have you want to take them to 6 figures, but they haven't even made their first sale yet and have no offer. then maybe you send them to a personal brand workshop or something like that beforehand. And you get some type of commission for referring that so that when they come out, they're all super clear on what it is they offer, what they stand for, who they serve, and so on. So think about this. What are the problems your clients come in with? And what are the problems your clients leave with? Now, how does that relate to revenue? Well, you get to make affiliate commissions on referring these different things without having to lift a finger or create a whole new offer. So if you're having a revenue constraint, this is a great way to do that because you're actually spending no additional money, but you are going to be able to create a possible revenue stream. And here's the other thing. You want to be super careful of referral fees in this lens. So if you are paying a lot in referral fees to get clients to come in, here's what I want you to look at. If you have a program, let's say, already in place where you're paying referral fees for people to send customers over to you, I need you to look at the terms of that really closely. I had a client actually who came in for a power session and we were talking about referrals. And she was saying, I have this one referral lead source that basically is 50% of my leads come from this one source. And I said, okay. So I looked at it. 50% of the leads come in. But what she then told me was that for every sale that happens through that channel, they take, I'm not kidding, like 90% of the fee. They're taking almost all the fee. And yet my client was doing all the work. So they were taking a huge chunk of the fee. And even if it were 50% of the fee, that's still massive, right? But what I realized was when she says that they were taking, it might have been 80%. I'm not sure. It was a really high percentage. If they're taking 80 to 90% of the fee, you're left with 10 to 20%. There's no way that's still going to satisfy your margins. That's not a profitable offer for you if you're giving away 80 to 90 cents on the dollar for it. So what we then unpacked was not just how many leads come in from that referral source, but is that referral source actually profitable for you in the sense that how much revenue is it bringing in? So this is the difference. 50% of her leads were coming in from that source. However, less than 10% revenue was coming from that source. Why? Because they took so much out off the top. That less than 10% of her revenue was coming from that particular source. So we realized if we were to cut ties with this referral provider, because this was the fear. The fear was, oh my God, Shannon, but I get half my leads from this one party. Like I can't sever the relationship. I can't stop doing that. And I said, but here's the thing. Here are the numbers. If you did that, then you'd only lose 10% of your revenue. And we'd have to replace 10% of your revenue. So even though, the strategy was to grow the revenue, what you have to do is remove the bottlenecks, remove the constraints, remove the things that are weighing you down. Take off the rucksack you're running with. Because what's happening is that this particular client had been shackled down, weighed down by this one referral provider. Because if you think about half the leads that were coming in and therefore half the workload, so like 50% of your work week is being done at a 10% margin. That's not right. What if it was being done at a 90% margin instead? You'd be making so much more in revenue with no additional work effort. So if you hate selling and you hate bringing on new clients because of the effort it takes to sell new clients, you can focus your attention on examining your existing lead sources, examining your existing processes and going, how can I increase my margin? How can I increase the amount that I'm bringing in from these sources, based on existing customers, based on existing sources, based on existing channels I have? How can I maximize that? And that's a really important thing to look at. So as you're kind of looking at your revenue and you're trying to grow your business, don't just focus on, I need new bodies, new blood, new everything. Now, you do want to welcome those in. You want to have a channel for them to find you. You want to create good marketing and all those things. But one of the best ways to inject cash into your business and create additional revenue is to look where the revenue is already coming in from. Look at the people already sitting at your tables in the restaurant and offer them dessert. There's no need to go outside and try to get people to come into the restaurant. You have a full set of tables in front of you. Ask them if they want coffee, dessert, more to drink, things like that. Upsell them, find new offers to help them evolve, and examine whether you are really choosing the right sources for those leads.
Most accountants will try to bill you for those quick questions or make you feel like you're bothering them. And the truth is that the quick questions are what I love about what we do. That's why I created a new and accessible offer for you to be able to message me your questions and get the support you need when you need it. It's called the CFO On Demand. You can now get affordable help and access to me and my team without a high monthly fee. You can also upgrade and get access to a private one-on-one office hours to bring your specific strategies to the table. Want to learn more? Head to thecfoondemand.com or click the link in the show notes. Again, that's the CFO On Demand. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating and review on your podcast platform. This small action goes a long way for podcasters to get our message heard by more business owners just like you. Be sure to check out the show notes for links to information about our guests and ways to get in touch with me. We'll see you on the next episode.